folks, today we're doing a vlog just from my house. For some people they may not find this too interesting, but certainly it will help me over the coming weeks and months. So we're going to be having a look at the latest canoe I've just been sent by Advanced Elements. So for anyone who's watched my previous videos, the orange kayak I use is another Advanced Element inflatable kayak, and it's really tough. I mean, we're talking inflatable kayaks, but we are talking dragging them, you know, up and down the riverbanks, across logs and stuff that's fallen into the river. I have no complaints about that canoe, that kayak, in the slightest, other than it's just a fraction too small for me. I'm about 5'10", and I have sort of UK size 8 feet, which isn't giant size by any stretch of the imagination. But it's just like when my feet are upright, they're wedged, and so I end up like paddling with like one foot back and the other one forward and stuff. It's just a fraction too small, and so I'm hoping that the Advanced Elements Expedition Elite kayak, which is just bigger for taking more kit and traveling further, sort of suits my needs a little bit better. So we're going to unbox the kayak and we'll inflate it and see how we get on. Okay, so the first box is open. It's just a box in a box. What we get here, and it weighs a fair amount. I don't know quite how much it weighs, but it weighs a reasonable amount. But we get to see the box now. So this is, yeah, the Advanced Frame Expedition Elite. Some of the reviews I've seen, some guys have been taking it around, I think it's Alaska, and you know, doing big old trips in it. So with my my needs up and down this river, it should suit me just fine. So next up, let's get inside the box and see what's in the box. So unsurprisingly, inside the box it's a big old bag. But there's one big difference I've seen already, which is on the back it's got two big heavy duty carry straps. Now on my current kayak, there's a bag. The bag looks very similar to this, similar size, similar shape, but it's just got a top hold carry handle, which is fine for moving it around the house and stuff, but if you want to take it any distance, you know, it ends up absolutely killing your arms. So you know, the backpack style bag is certainly well received here. Looks good. I'll tell you what this says, because clearly people forget. It's got an exclamation mark. It says, "Remove aluminium riser before folding kayak." You don't want to puncture it. The other thing I noticed just before I take it out is, although I've not inflated it before, so it may not ever, it's a bit like tents, it may not go back in like this, but there's quite a lot of space in this bag. You know, it's quite hard to show you, but if I spin this camera down a bit further, you can see, you know, there's quite a lot of distance there once the bag's unzipped, which should hopefully make it a little bit easier to get back in the bag after I've been out, but we'll find out later. As you can see here, once it's inflated, that's what we're aiming for. So let's see where we begin. Okay, so far so good. It's very similar to the other kayak, unsurprisingly. There are a couple of extras. So first of all, we've got the rear thwart, and it all comes with notes on. So it says inflate and place behind for desired deck lift and watershed. Remove if more storage room is needed in the kayak, which of course is useful when I'm camping and taking a pack if I need a bit of extra space below decks, or of course I can lash it to the top. The other thing I'll be interested to try out later is the seat. So the seat straps in, same as the other one, but this one actually has inflatable lumbar support inside it. So you know, if you need a bit of extra support whilst you're sat in the kayak, that'd be good. 2 pockets instead of 1 on the back, but very much the same. Hopefully this one stays upright more than the previous one. I do have trouble keeping it up, I just end up sitting on the floor. Okay, so I've just gone and got my Advanced Elements pump. You don't have to use an Advanced Elements pump, but it does have a useful PSI indicator with you know, the areas marked off where you need to do it, and of course the range of attachments that come with it for the various different canoe valves. You know, experience tells me we only need 2, but it's obviously useful for other stuff as well, so seems like a good pump. So like on the other canoe, all the different valves are numbered, and basically you go through them in order, inflating each one to the required PSI. You know, the instructions are in the book, and I'm sure, yeah, the same as on the other canoe. We've got valve information on the outside because they have these push turn valves that I'll show you in a minute, and also the instructions for inflating. So if you haven't inflated it in a while and you haven't got the instruction manual, it's still attached to your canoe, to your kayak, sorry. I suggest you leave it there. The other thing it's got on the front and the back, these inserts along with the frame. If you use both of these together, it provides more rigidity to your kayak as you're moving along. So, like I said, first of all, I'm going to show you how the valves work, because they're reasonably distinct, but they do work exceedingly well. So what we've got here is the valve and the information. So hopefully you can see this in the sunshine, but if it's upwards, then it's for inflating. So if I just twist it and pull it out, that's the inflate position. Obviously you don't want the air to escape when you take the pump off. Then when you're finished with it and you want to take it out at the end of the day, you push it in, twist it, the valve stays down, all the air flows out. So I'll put it back. So what it says here, so we go through in order. Make sure that the valves are in the inflate position, and then it says partially inflate chamber 1 until it appears to be halfway inflated. Now the instruction manual says inflate it with about 35 full pumps of the Advanced Elements pump. So if you've got a different one, you have to adjust that, but basically you want to sort of like half inflate it. So let's give it a go. So there we go. That's the main chambers inside the kayak are now inflated. You basically, for valve number 2, you basically just keep pumping until it reaches 2 psi, and the thing is rigid. It's really firm. onto the floor. So the floor is definitely a bit different to what I've done before. It says inflate to between 4 and 6 psi max. I don't know, like the pump said it was like less than 2, but it feels pretty rigid, so I'm not going anywhere. I won't test my luck. So yeah, the floor is the floor's inflated. Let me show you. You can see here when I give it a squeeze, it's pretty firm, and that's down there is where I blew it up. It's got a different valve to ones I used before, so for anyone looking, it's like the twisty job. Yeah, that apparently is the floor inflated. Now we insert the metal bar to provide the additional rigidity. So there we go, basically it's all done. Now we need to do the thwart and the seat. So like it said, if you've got kit, you won't need to do this. You can just put the kit in the back, but this just provides better support for the back of the boat when it's empty. So I'll have some kit later, but we'll try it for now. So there we go. You know, it took 20 minutes to set up, but actually if I was out and about it wouldn't, because I now know what I'm doing. You know, like I said, the valve numbers are all ordered, so it makes it really easy to know what order to do stuff in. Make sure you do the outside to 50% inflation, then you do the valve number 2 so you don't overinflate it. Stick that to 2 psi, get the floor in so that's nice and rigid. And then you just do the little extra valves around the outside. So there we go. But now the key question for me is, can I fit in it? I think the answer is mostly yes. My feet, when they're upright, still hit the top of the kayak, which is fair enough. I mean, the difference is now though that I've got extra length, so I can actually push my feet forward. And when I haven't got my big shoes on, I've got my wetsuit shoes on, it's not a big deal. But I can instantly feel the extra length in the boat. Before, when my feet were forward, they would always just hit the end, you know, where the inflatable chambers converge, and I would never have any more space. but no, this is great. Let me show you. So, you know, from my perspective, there's a nice big, you know, area where you could fit a skirt, but I don't normally, because I'm hopping in and out to get around trees and stuff. You know, my feet now reach, you know, somewhere around the end of the straps, and I can't feel the bottom, which, you know, just makes a huge difference from a comfort perspective. The lumbar support for the seat, I don't know how much I use it, but it feels nice. I mean, you know, I've got extra support down the bottom of the back, which for an old geezer like me is super useful. Yeah, all in all, good start. Let's have another look round. So it feels nice and firm. The seat as ever, sorry, the floor is nice and rigid. You know, this is a nice thing about the Advanced Elements inflatables. Although they're inflatable, you know, they feel firm, like you're in a normal kayak. What we got on the back here is you can of course put some more bungee straps if you want to strap some stuff to the back, depending on how much kit you've got. You know, this will carry a lot of kit. Some of the photos I've seen online, it's just stacked high with people's bags. But the other thing that is useful is the sack. It goes in here. So just so everyone's aware, this isn't like a dry bag, because inside that's the area where I've just put the extra pillow in the back. So it's not supposed to be completely waterproof. It'll stop water coming in the top, you know, if it rains or whatever, but it won't stop water flowing backwards up the canoe. If you get water into the seating area, it will come back. But you know, for people who are out and about during the day and what have you, the added compartment, you know, super useful. When I've got the other Advanced Elements kayak out and about, if I need to put some stuff in to keep it out of the way, you have to move the seat forward and then, you know, pull stuff through. So that's super cool. And as they said, you know, you don't have to keep the extra support in. You know, if I take that out, there's quite a lot of room in there. Don't know if I can show you this. Let me give it a go. And then of course at the front, for anything that needs to go on top, if you've got a grab bag, you can easily fit stuff on the top of the canoe, on the kayak. You know, I can undo the buckles. This is really useful. I was doing this the other day on the other one. Undo the buckles, put your stuff on, pull the straps back over the top, and then when you want to tighten it up, just pull the toggle there. Neoprene finger guards, so that you don't end up just, you know, scrubbing your hand if you rub up against it. That's a nice touch. And then if you're tied up for the night or whatever, there's points to attach your paddle to, so that it doesn't go missing. I think there's a set on the other side, so you can probably take a spare as well if you needed to. And then lastly, I'll just flip it over. Try to. Yeah, I'll just show you the floor before we take it down to the water. So you can see here, there's you know, there is some stuff on the bottom in terms of skeg to help it drive through the water and track properly. And then, you know, this flooring, if you saw my other video, it's the same flooring as the other Advanced Elements kayak I've got. And I dragged that over trees, I dragged it back up the path the other day, and I turned it over wondering what it would be like. There's literally not a mark on it. This stuff is tough as old boots. You know, and then of course it's got bump protection on the front and the back. So you know, it's a sturdy design. It's designed for a lot of tough use. So how about we take it down to the water? Hello there and welcome. Fast forward a few hours. I've packed up the boat because I'm gonna go on a little camping trip tonight. That's going to be next week's vlog. But in the same time, we'll chuck the boat in the water, and I'll give you some impressions about how she feels while she's afloat. So let's get cracking. There we go, she's in the water. Went in reasonably easy. She does weigh a lot because I've packed, well, when you're camping outside you have to pack what you pack, don't you? There's a few extras that I brought, but nothing too outrageous. But of course, you know, if you're just wild camping without a canoe, you wouldn't have a change of clothes and all that type of stuff. So you know, she does weigh a lot, and if I had a grab bag, I'd probably put another one on the deck rather than trying to stash everything behind the seat. And I could do with a more compact sleeping bag. Currently my sleeping bag takes up a lot of space, so we'll make those adjustments, but as we're not going too far upstream, that should be not too big a deal. But anyway, we're here to see what the canoe's like, so I'll go ahead and get paddling. So I'm in and I'm afloat. We've yet to sink and I'm floating backwards, which probably isn't the best idea, but I'm going where I need to go. First impressions getting in, nice and stable, that's for certain. Because the seat's so far forward, due to my sleeping bag being wedged in the back, it wasn't the easiest to squeeze in because you've got the steel bar across. On the old boat, without the bar in place, I used to just unzip the front zip here and you could just slide in because your knees would just go in underneath. But you know, no big deal. Like I said, I'll probably adjust my sleeping bag anyway. But yeah, I'm in, and you know, I'm crammed forward, but my feet still aren't completely wedged in the bottom of the boat. So, you know, so far, so good. A wide shot. So I'm going to do a bit of paddling and I'll let you know what it's like. It's nice and calm here today, but she's tracking really nicely in the water. You know, minimal effort, boat floats along nicely. You know, a nice stable base. The lumbar support in the seat is pretty cool. You know, I can definitely feel the lower back support, which actually is a benefit. Like I said earlier, half the time I end up with the seat flat on the floor, so you know, having that lumbar support, yeah, having that lumbar support, you know, down my lower back is pretty useful. So all in all, so far, I think with my, you know, few minutes of paddling, an excellent kayak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head upstream, not too far, just like a mile I think it is, and then I will moor up for the night, and then I'll give you some more thoughts at the far end. Right, so So I did tell you when I got to the bridge I would give you a update on what I thought of the Advanced Elements Expedition Elite. Yeah, it's not too bad. Certainly like the old boat. You know, I feel like it performs well, you know, for what I need. I'm not doing whitewater kayaking, I'm just paddling along a river, so, you know, from my perspective that works fine. When it's laden down with gear like it is now, it's definitely heavy. It's quite hard to manoeuvre briskly in the water if you need to change direction. But, you know, that's to be expected. I've got a lot of stuff on board. On other days, you know, it wouldn't be anywhere near as heavy. You know, so would I recommend it? Absolutely. For people who need, like, you know, a flexible kayaking solution, I can fold it up and chuck it in a car. I can obviously backpack it to places where I need to, as you saw earlier with the backpack, you know, bag setup. That's a good addition to the setup. So yeah, there you go. I'm looking forward to getting out more. You know, hopefully you can join me for some more videos. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe, all the usual stuff. Thank you very much. It helps me in the Google rankings. And for now, I will leave it there. Thank you for watching. See you soon.